Hello, everyone. My name is Shreyans Daga, and for my sixth or third and final milestone, I decided to create a web interface that would allow the user to change the lower and upper HSV bounds in real time so that they could actually track whatever they want. And so while we were calibrating the system to detect orange, we found that it was extremely difficult to try to calibrate those HSV values using just a text editor and repeatedly running the code. And so I thought that it would be a good bit of functionality to provide the user with a web interface that would allow them to tweak the lower and upper HSV bounds. And so to create this, I just used a framework named Flask, which allows you to easily create websites. And so this is my all of my Python for my Flask server. And then these are all of my HTML templates. Um, and we also have some JavaScript in there to update the images at a regular interval. And then we have our image generation file, which provides the live image. And then finally, we have our binary image, which is rendered into the website. So when I run Flask in my terminal and hit enter, as you can see, it starts the Flask server. I can open it in browser, and I get this page. It's very nice, but as you can see, when I'm changing the slider values, nothing is happening, which is because it can't update live, as multi-threading, which is running two programs at the same time, is not possible in Python because of something called the global interpreter lock. And so to overcome this problem, because we need to run our Flash script and we also need to run our image generation script to create our binary image, we ended up writing a separate, let me just stop this. We ended up writing a shell script, which is this hsv.sh. And so what we do is we first start running our image, our binary image generation script that uses the slider values, and then we background that to a separate terminal, and then after that we start our website script. So if I run this script now, what happens is that there will be live image generation with with the file. So as you can see, now I open it up, and as you can see, now I'm getting a black image because all of my lower and upper bounds are the same. And so if I were to calibrate these bounds properly, then they would show up correctly. Once we completed this website, we then moved on to re-implementing the gesture control with this new robot. And the way we went about doing that is actually pretty similar to the previous one. We have our breadboard over here, and this is the Bluetooth module, and this is the accelerometer, and they send data over to the Arduino, which processes it and then sends the data over to the Raspberry Pi using the Bluetooth module, which can then make the robot move. And this is the code for that. It's relatively similar to the old one. We just configure the serial connectivity, and then depending on the command, we move in the appropriate direction. And that was my project. And in the end, I decided to name it Knight Rider, like Knight Rider, because I thought that would be a better name. And overall, I enjoyed BlueStamp a lot. I learned a lot, and I made a really, really cool project. So thank you very much for listening.